Friday when we had the orientation session with the coordinator. Actually, I started with you when it was getting too long. I had some other meeting to attend to. That was why you couldn't hear my voice, but you could see my hand. I sent a chat across. If you are able to read that, we'll meet today during the class. Again, I welcome you to this class, and I hope it's going to be interesting and it's going to be inspiring as well. And I also believe that this will also encourage you to also contribute your own quota when you become professional members of this noble institute. Once again, you are welcome. I'm taking you through competencies and quality service delivery. Before we proceed, I would like to let you know that since we are starting today, I want to seek your indulgence to just spend 1 hour with you. So we're going to end the class by 11 o'clock by the grace of God. I have some other pressing matter that needs my attention personally. So as a result, wherever we can reach today, we'll continue from there next week. By now, we are just 18 in the class, but we can't wait for anyone. We already have the timetable. So what we're going to consider in few weeks before you write your exam has to do with the competencies and quality service delivery. You know, for any profession, the competence of that person professing to belong to that profession is very, very germane and is important. So if anyone lacks competence in his or her choosing career, that tells more about that person, and the career progression of such an individual is going to be in jeopardy. And that is why we just have to go through this course to enable us understand, to enable us also acquire Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what I'm saying in essence is that competence is as important as any other thing for us for us to actually deliver well as a professional. You know, if one is a quack, we don't care about that. But when you call yourself a professional, it means there are certain things you need to exhibit. There are certain characteristics that you need to exhibit. There are certain behavior that you need to exhibit. There are certain skills which you have to show to the people, which you need to showcase to the people to show that actually you are a professional. To show that you are a professional. When a driver drives, and you see the way such a driver drives, you should, by your own judgment or assessment, you should be able to know that such a driver, you will know whether he is a professional or is not a professional. And even if you visit hospitals, we have so many private hospitals nowadays, and where we have the so-called auxiliary nurses, and in some hospitals, we have qualified nurses. And when you visit them, you will be able to know that actually this is a professional, this one is a quack. So for you to determine that, you must have observed certain competencies in such an individual. Such an individual must have exhibited a kind of a skill that is expected of a professional. So the same goes for the social work profession as well. You know, it's an important profession which actually is geared or poised towards making life more bearable or more meaningful to the people. That is, trying to improve the well-being of anyone in the society. irrespective of race, irrespective of your status or whatever. But the essence is for us to have an improvement in our living standard. May I request those that have not muted their mic to do so, so that we can have a noise-free session, please. If you know you are not talking, you can please help us and mute your mic so that we can just move ahead. So generally, we have to look at the overview of what the competence and quality service delivery is all about. We look at, as a background, look at what is the social work. Why do we need the social work? What is the purpose of the social work? What are the duties of social workers? And why is this course, this particular program, why is it important for us to take? Then we'll go to the core competencies in service delivery or in social work. So after that, we're going to consider rapport building. We'll consider what are the benefits of such, what are the techniques of this. Then we'll go to confidentiality. I know you are not being exposed to social work for the first time. And if you have been exposed to social work for the first time, there are certain principles in social work that you just have to abide by. And one of such is confidentiality. In this area, we'll look at the legal and ethical considerations of this confidentiality and importance of confidentiality. Then until then, we'll go to advocacy. Advocacy is an important aspect of social work that can make us much more successful in our service delivery. In this regard, we'll consider purposes of advocacy and issues that we may have that we may cut across while doing our advocacy. How do we build our advocacy strategy? How best can we communicate? How best can we engage stakeholders that will make our work, that will make service delivery a quality one? Then what are the techniques that we can use in advocacy, and so on and so forth, so that we become a successful professional or a successful service provider? So nonetheless, we'll quickly look at the overview of this particular program. The competencies of social work professionals create a basis for high quality care and services. When a professional is competent, is relevantly competent, you see that the kind of the service that such service provider will give will be different, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be quality one, not just anyhow, because of the competency such a social work professional possesses. Again, when we have competencies, this will mean to consist of the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and self-efficacy that professionals need to carry out their work. You know, while I was introducing the course to you, by way of introduction, I talk about skills, the kind of skills you exhibit, the kinds of knowledge you try to let people know that you have acquired. So those go a long way in letting people know the kind of person you are, letting people know that whether you are actually a professional or not. Then when we have competencies, when we talk about competencies, this also ensures safe and high quality outcomes for individuals and populations. I want to believe that person has just joined the class. That is why he or she has not muted a mic. Please, if you are just joining, please mute your mic so that we can enjoy ourselves within the limited time that we have. So like I was saying, when you have the required competencies, this will ensure safe and high quality outcomes for individuals. You know, the essence of whatever intervention or whatever service you are rendering to people is for you to have an outcome. So when you have such outcomes will give us a very good impact, a positive impact on our service users. In this case, this is our clients. When the service provider is competent, when the service provider can give what is required at the appropriate time, the outcome will be a beneficial one. That is what this one is saying. Again, when you have the knowledge will consist of information and understanding of the subject area. So it is part of the competency that is required of you, that you must possess right knowledge. You must possess right knowledge. You cannot say you are a medical doctor. You are a medical doctor and you also want to administer.
What?
You want to. If you are a medical doctor, you cannot just go to the town planning people or you cannot claim to know more about architecture. You can't claim to know more about other professions, about engineering. So what we are saying is that, but the knowledge you possess will actually determine the kind of quality, the quality of service that you want to render. But when you have such knowledge will consist of relevant information and understanding of your subject area. So people outside may not know that. People that are not professional, that are not part of your profession, they may not know that. Again, skills refer to a professional ability to use your knowledge effectively, and this could be motor, cognitive, and social skills. Of course, you know that the various skills that you have, it's referred to your ability to now apply your knowledge, use your knowledge to assist your service user. In this case, your service user is your client. Again, attitudes in this regard refer to professionals' long-term views of the subject, human beings, or practice. You know, in social work, we do not talk only about your skills, about the knowledge you possess, about everything that you have, about your resources, but we also talk about the attitudes. Your attitude matters. The attitude of your clients also matters. So in this case, all these are necessary areas that we consider under these competencies. Then again, self-efficacy refers to individual perception of their ability and capacity to influence actions. When you are in your own case, you are sure of yourself. You possess the right knowledge. You have the right skill. Then definitely, you will be able to influence others. Your capacity must have been built by being a professional in that area. When you have the correct capacity, then you can influence others positively, not negatively in these regards. So in essence, professional competency require a certain level of social and emotional intelligence to reflect on what is needed and to apply it in practice in a purposeful, intentional, and professional manner. Please underline the professional manner. It has to be purposeful when you are applying that intelligence that you have. It has to be intentional, and you must be professional in your conduct. You must be professional in your outlook. You must be professional in that practice. So whatever you do, you use the professional eye, the professional spectacle to look at it. We use the professional lens to look at whatever you do. So we'll forget about all of that thing, but we'll now bring in the professional.
Sir, we can't hear anything again.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
We can hear you now, sir.
I think it's network issue.
Now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry. I didn't notice. I think the network just muted my mic. I didn't notice. Sorry. So what I said is that your service users, I mean the service user, those people we want to serve, those people we want to assist, those people we want to help to regain their integrity, to regain their worth. Those people we want to restore them back into proper living. So what we do is your relationship matters. Your own attitude, his or our own attitude also matter. So the service user most especially, they value relationship very, very, very well. So in that regard, you must also be careful, you must be wary, and you must be cognizant of whatever attitude you are putting forward. So in social work, there are expected attitude, there are expected behavior from you as social worker, because they see you as their solution provider. So if they cannot see you as that, there is a problem somewhere. So it is seen as the crucial starting point for getting help and support on equal terms, for working with rather than on people. What we are saying here is that you work with them, you don't work on them. When you work on them, you dictate everything. When you work on them, you give instruction for everything. When you work on them, you become the boss. But when you work with them, you interact, you look at yourself on the same pedestal. When you and your client are in the same on the same pedestal, then such your service user will see you as somebody will see you as a helper. Service user also talk of relationship based on warmth, empathy, reliability, respect, which it is the opposite of form-filling approaches to assessment, which reduce the contact between service user and practitioner to a form-like, rigid, and bureaucratic contact. You know, one of the facilitating qualities of a service provider, of a social worker in this case, is the fact that you have respect, or you have regard for your service users. When that is not there, one the service user will lose out, and you not also gain, because you can't get the outcome of all your effort. So it is not surprising that sometimes service user, they talk about practitioners as friends. Your service users will see you as friend, not because they mistake the professional relationship they have with them with an informal one, but because they associate it with all the best qualities they hope for from a trusted friend. We see your service user will expect the best qualities from you. So when your service user cannot see you as giving him or her, or cannot see you possessing best qualities in this case, that means something is fixing, and you may not achieve the objective of even venturing into assisting such a service user, or into helping, or into coming to his or her life. I want to believe what I'm trying to say, you are thinking along with me in the way I'm trying to let you know the essence of, the essence of relationship between you and your service user. Again, it is also important, maybe in communication you will do that. I wouldn't know whether you have been taken through. It is also important that the communication, your attitude within the organization where you also work, or where you also profess, or the attitude you also put forward, among your colleagues, the attitude between you and the service user and the outside world, which is external in this case. So what we are saying is that it is important that we possess the right competence, or the right competencies, to ensure that we deliver quality service to our service user. What then is social work? just for us to understand the basic thing that we have in social work. We only try to go through it. There's several definitions of social work. Depending on the one that will suit your purpose or the one of your choice. Social work is an applied or behavioral sciences profession that promotes human rights. You can take it from that angle, that promotes social justice, that promotes peace and conflict resolutions, that engender social change. It could be problem solving and also engender sustainable development in human relationships, focusing on empowerment and liberation of people, and enhancing the well-being of individuals, family, groups, and communities. Some people may even take the last one and say social work enhances. Why? Then, what then is social? That this is a profession that engender or that enhances the well-being of individuals, family, groups, and communities. It could, and this one, when they do that, they utilize theories of human behavior and social system. So social work intervenes at the point where people interact with their environment, principles of human rights, and social justice. All these are fundamental to social work. What we are saying is, in essence, is that social work profession is committed to maximizing the well-being of individuals and societies. That is the essential thing that we need. Somebody's background is disturbing us. Anyway, if you can hear me, there's no problem. But such an individual should place mute his or her mic. So what I'm saying is that what we need here is that social work is committed to maximizing the well-being of individuals and society. When an individual is well, when an individual is good, when an individual is honest, when an individual has integrity, it means that that society should also have integrity. When an individual is well to do, definitely that society will also become such. So we consider that individual and society well-being is strengthened by socially inclusive communities that emphasize principles of social justice, respect for human dignity and human rights, including the right to freedom from intimidation and exclusion. All these form part of the focus of the social work profession. So, but the essential thing is that we look at the ways of maximizing the well-being of individuals and society. When such is in our mind, definitely everything will go on well. And don't forget, I also said the social work also enhances the well-being of an individual, family, groups, and community, which essentially form the societies. Why social work? Why social work? In this life, we have a number of demands from day to day. There are so many demands that face human beings in this life. And with such, you actually want to meet your demand. And as a result, there are certain things that will want to happen. There will be interactions. And when such interaction exists, there should be a relationship with one person or the other within the group or with the society or with the community. And when such happens, it's either your demand is challenged or the strategy you want to use to meet up with your demand is also challenged. And by that, task will require that responses come from different angles. So by life task, we mean the responses people make as they face the demand made upon them in various life situations, such as growing up in a family. For you to be grown up in a family, there's several challenges. When you are in a school, you have challenges. When you in your workplace, you have challenges. You are raising your own family, there are challenges. Handling your daily living, there are challenges. Working in the industry, there are problems relating to job, and there are problems relating to there are problems facing, there are problems you may also face like illness, it could be accident, and it could be death, even while you are working, even in your family and anywhere. So all these problems, when they have it, definitely social work must come in to ensure that the life of the affected or the life of such or any victim from all these problems must be brought back to dignity. And the life of such people, the living of such people must also be maximized. Their well-being must be important to us. So when we look forward to their well-being, we are trying to apply social work principles, and we are trying to make use of social work. In essence, what we are saying, you see this day, this is April, and the last day of April will be Tuesday, I think. By the 1st of May, workers all over the world, they will celebrate Workers' Day, isn't it? And that will be 1st of May. When they do the celebration, you know what the workers do? The various unions that are affiliated to either TUC or to NSC, all of them, what do they do? Especially those in government work or in working with the government, the civil servant or the TUC or the NLC, those of them, all their unions, what they do is, by now, they are already making demands. They're already making demands from government, what they want the government to do for them. Why are they doing that? They are doing that to ensure that they live a better life. That is why they want a better life. This is for those that are working. They are looking for improvement on their job. They are looking for their well-being on their job. They are looking for an enhanced package or packages from their employers. The same goes for those in the private sectors, because all these demands, they will require that there will be responses, there will be reactions, there will be relationship, there will be interaction, and all this will demand that social work come into their aid. People are dependent on social system to realize their aspirations and to cope with their life task, like I explained. In order to realize this lifestyle, people have to interact with three kinds of resource system in the social environment. We have the informal resource system, of course, consists of family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, etc. We have formal resource system for those working, for those in the structure organizations. We have a formal resource system. You have to do things according to dictates of that organization, or according to the structure, or according to the procedure laid down or rules laid down in such organizations or in such establishments. Then we also talk about social resource system, such as schools, hospital, housing society, police, bank, and everything. You relate with other people, which may not be formal, and which could be formal, and which could also be informal. Purpose of social work. Like I think I've explained that, but I may quickly let you know that the purpose of the social work profession is to promote human and community well-being, guided by a person or environment construct, a global perspective, respect for human diversity, knowledge based on society inquiry. But the important thing here, that is the purpose of social work, is to promote human and community well-being. When you promote that, the social work is in place. Like I said, social work also addresses various forms of multiple complex transactions between people and their environments. The essence is to enable all people to develop their full potentials, enrich their lives, and prevent dysfunction. What we are saying is that when you help an individual to realize their full potentials, you are actually professing the social work. So social work is purpose also is realized through its pursuit of social and economic justice, the prevention of conditions that limit human rights, the elimination of poverty, and the enhancement of the quality of life for all persons with the commitment to respect the dignity and worth of all people and the profession's pursuit for social justice. We emphasize social justice in this regard. What are the duties of social workers? What are the duties of social workers? There are various duties of social workers, but the duties are not limited to this. I will give, you can also add more from your own end. Social workers are expected to defend and uphold the physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual integrity and well-being of all persons. Don't forget, the well-being is very, very important. So number one of the duties of social workers is respecting the right to self-determination. You should assist your service users to you should assist your service user to determine certain thing himself or herself. That is, as social worker, you should respect and promote people's right to make their own choices and decisions. Like I said the other time, you are not working on people, you are working with people. You only assist them to realize their full potential. In that regard, you should also respect their right to self-determination. They should determine their own destiny too. Their own destiny, you should let them know that their own destiny lie on their own hands. Their destinies lie on their hands. So in such case, you only assist them to realize that that destiny is in their own hands. When you assist them to do that, so you are a good social worker. You assist them, you respect, you promote their right to make their own choices and decisions, irrespective of their values and life choices, provided it does not threaten the right and legitimate interests of others. While you are doing that, you don't trample upon the right of other people. For instance, if you are trying to assist the head of a family, maybe the head of a family is in crisis and you want to assist such a head, when you are trying to do that, ensure that you do not jeopardize the rights of his spouse, not jeopardize the rights of his children. So if you know that the kind of intervention you are bringing in will further create another crisis, what you do is to employ another strategy that will ensure that the rights of your client in particular is protected, as well as you safeguard the right of others that are connected with him or her. Promoting the right to participation. In this case, you talk about participation, self-participation, inclusive intervention, inclusive inclusive engagement of clients. What we are saying here is that social workers should promote the full involvement and participation of people using their services in ways that enable them to be empowered in all aspects of decision and action affecting their lives. That is, allow them to also participate in their own development. Allow them, try to promote the right, try to promote opportunity or enabling environment that will allow them to contribute to whatever that will affect them. You know, one of the principles of development is participation. Participation in the sense that those people you are designing a program or project for, they should be involved. They should be involved in the process of that development. If you neglect them, definitely whatever you are doing for them will look foreign, will look strange to them. They will not have that attitude of willingness. That is, that attitude of this belongs to us. They want to see it as your own method. They want to see it as your own strategy, not their own, because they believe that you are just giving them instruction. You are just giving them direction. You are just dictating everything to them, but you allow them to participate, which is self-participation. You allow them to participate in what affects them and what does not affect them. So any decision you are taking in respect of your service user or in respect of your clients should be an inclusive one, should be the one that they also participate. So that belongingness will be there for them. So in such a case, that intervention will be sustainable. But if otherwise, such will not be sustainable. And this is an example of what we experience nowadays, or what we used to experience from government projects and programs. Most or oftentimes, the government would design program or projects for people. They will design it for them. They will not design it with them. They will not carry them along. They just assume that this will be the needs of these people. They will go ahead and provide borehole to a community that does not need the borehole. They will go ahead to establish a market to a community that does not even need that market at all. A community that needs healthcare center, a community that needs water system to run perfectly, they may go there to establish school. So what happens at the end of the day? The community will just abandon the project, and it becomes an abandoned project because these people were not given the opportunity to be part of the process of development. They were not given the opportunity to actually take part in any stage of that development. But in social work, we don't encourage that. What we encourage is that a social worker should have it at the back of his or her mind that he should promote the right to participation of his or her clients, as the case may be. Because every human being is important and every human being has his own dignity and worth. So this is very, very important. So when you do this, it actually shows that you are a good professional and you possess a good professional value that is reflected in the human rights. Number 3, treating each person as a whole. In social work, an individual is a unique entity. An individual is a unique entity. And as such, when you are addressing an individual or when you are trying to intervene in an individual case or whatever, you look at that person as a whole. You don't try to you don't try to create a kind of dichotomy from any part of his life. So whatever intervention you are doing to an aspect where such an individual has crisis, you must do it in relation to other aspects of his life. That is why you have to treat such an individual as a whole. Social workers will be concerned with the whole person, the whole, within the family, community, society, natural environment, and to seek to recognize all aspects of a person's life. Just like I said, all aspects of his life must be considered whenever you are trying to give out your own intervention or you want to give your own assistance. Again, you need to, the social worker also identify and develop strengths. Social workers will focus on the strength of an individual. That is to say, groups or community, and thus promote their empowerment. In essence, try to emphasize the strength of an individual, the strength of your service user, the person you are designing an intervention for. You try to emphasize his or her strength. Don't build on his or her weaknesses. Look at every area of his or her strength. Then you enable him or her build that strength. When you do that, such an individual is determined to gain maximally from your intervention. So in this regard, you have respective interaction with others, which will affirm their sense of dignity and worth. They will see that they are also important and they are good individuals in the society. Social worker treat people with consideration, respect their uniqueness, appreciate the validity of their perspectives, and listen carefully to what they have to say. Listen carefully to what they have to say in communication. You don't only talk and talk and talk and talk. You listen to your listeners too. You listen to your audience. You allow your audience to make their own contribution. So what we are saying is that a social worker should be a good listener. You should be a good listener, giving them their own right to talk, their own right to express their feelings, their own right to even offer some alternatives to what you have on ground. So ultimately, according people dignity and worth, afford them the opportunity and resources of a just society. So you will be seen as a just social worker, as a just individual, when you allow them to also develop their own strength. Number 5, challenging negative discrimination. It means that you do not allow any form of discrimination to come in when you are giving your own intervention or when you are delivering your own service. You don't allow any discrimination to come in at all. You don't give chance to discrimination on the ground of ability, on the ground of age, on the ground of culture, gender, or sex, marital status, socioeconomic status, political opinions, skin color, racial, religion, and so on and so forth. Even spiritual beliefs, you don't try to discriminate based on that. You should challenge such discrimination, because the essence of bringing in your service is to promote or to enhance the well-being of such an individual. You should also recognize diversity. As a social worker, you should have the knowledge of the fact that human beings are not the same. We are created in a diverse forms, and individual differences are there for us to look at. So you should recognize diversity. Your duty is to recognize diversity in anything. You should recognize and respect the ethnic and cultural diversity of society in which you practice, taking account of an individual, family, group, and community differences. You should take account of those. You should take account of these differences wherever you are. Wherever you are. If perhaps you are a social worker and you are opportune to work in the north or to work on a project in the north, and you are from the south, or perhaps you may even be a Christian. If you are a Christian, you know the majority in the far north, they are Muslims. You should recognize that the fact that they are Muslim does not prevent you from rendering the service you are to do. And you are a Christian as a service provider. You put aside religious belief. You should know that as we have Muslim, we have Christian, and we have idolaters, and we have people that even don't believe in anything. We have the polytheists, and we have so many people professing different religions, different faiths. So you should recognize that. When you recognize that, you treat people, or you treat your client as an individual, as a human being. That's the first thing. Before you profess any faith, you are a human being. So before you even say you belong to this class or that class, you are first of all a human being. Then the social worker also distribute resources equitably. You shouldn't be unjust. Social worker are expected to be just. Social worker are expected to be honest with whatever they are doing. So if you have about 10 service user or clients, when you have them and you are to allocate resources to them, you must be equitable. A social worker acts equitably. Don't forget, one of the maxims in law is he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So if you want to promote equity, you should know that as social workers, this will be your principle. This will be your principle while you are distributing resources. Challenging unjust policies and practices. You know, government have various policies. Government, they have laws, they have all this. When there are unjust policies, you know, these policies are made by people. They are not just there. Some people start down, or some people had meetings, some people brainstorm, some people formulated those policies. When there are policies that are anti-human, that are anti-social, you can challenge those policies so that a good thing can come out of it. So when you are challenging the policy, you must be objective. That is a fact. As a social worker, you must be objective. When you are challenging any policy, you must be objective. You don't bring in sentiment in whatever form. This takes me to when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu first took the oath of office. On the day, he said he removed the fuel subsidy, that the first subsidy regime is gone forever. So when he did that, there were consequences after that. Inflation, high cost of items, and so on and so forth. The fuel pump price increase, and so on. The prices of food items, everything jumped. And he said they will be doing certain things that per household they will be giving so much a specified amount of money to a particular household, and people challenge that policy. You know what the federal government did? The federal government had to refat. The federal government now refatted and reviewed that policy because some people took it upon themselves to challenge the policy. And this represents the people of Nigeria to challenge those policies. If those people also kept quiet, we will have new with that policy up to now. But they had to go back to their drum board and address and review those policies and try to polish the policy so that it will suit the needs of the people. That brought about a number of palliative, a number of measures that are a little bit acceptable to the people. You know, this also has its own social implications as well, as we experience up to today. That's a way of changing jobs. So social work, as a social worker, it's your duty to bring to the attention of your employers, policymakers, politicians, and the general public situation where distribution of resources, policies, and practices are oppressive, unfair, or harmful. You look at it and you try to challenge such a policy. I want to believe you also remember a time when the Federal Road Safety Commission tried to introduce a new plate number that every owner of vehicle must change their number plate for some other, whereas they were the one that actually issued the first one. So if it is for free, people will have actually agree with that. But somebody went to court to challenge that obnoxious policy, and at the court ruled that such safety had to withdraw. They had to refer that policy. If no one challenged it, somebody challenged that particular policy in Lagos. If that person did not challenge that, by now, maybe every year we'll be changing our number plate. And that will be giving the road safety much money from individual pockets. And you can see that such a policy is harmful, it's oppressive. So as a social worker, you try to challenge the any unjust policy in the best way, with objectivity, without any bias, without any sentiment. The social workers will also work in solidarity. Social workers have an obligation to challenge social conditions that contribute to social exclusion. So what we're saying is that you work in solidarity with others. You do not work alone. You do not allow social stigmatization, subjugation, or whatever, and you work on inclusive society. Anything you want to look at it holistically that will include others, and no one is left behind. So if anyone is left behind, it means that social justice is being promoted. So, and that will not be a good thing for in the social work profession. So you try to prevail on society that social injustice does not reign, and you do not allow anyone to infringe on the right of all members of the society. These are part and some of the duties that are expected of social workers. Like I told you, it's not the duties are not limited to this nine I just enumerated. You can also look for more and read more for that. So why? Let me check my time. So we have about 7 minutes. Let me quickly take this, then we can take comments, and we'll round up the class at another 10. Why are competencies important? I think I explained some of it when we started. So competencies are important. One, they support with ethical decision making. You know, in social work, the code of ethics, the ethical considerations, the ethical principles that we make use of, that guide our action in social work. For you to understand this, I want to believe that you are aware that the and an act of the assembly. Coordinator, I think coordinator platform. Take your time to go to the act.
Lost you, sir. I don't know. I'm not hearing you again.
The network is bad again, sir.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, better now, sir.
Sorry,
Yes,
sorry,
I hear you.
welcome. I think the H is from the IT section. Now, I'm talking about why the social work competencies, why are they important? And I said it supports with ethical decision making. And I was trying to tell you that we have an act that actually guides the operation of the institute. And it is important that you also go through that act so that with the act, you can understand the code of conduct that are expected to be exhibited by you as social workers. And there are ethical principles that you need to know. I think Mr. Tere is taking this on the professional ethics and whatever. So there are ethical principles that actually guide social work profession, and principle as service to humanities. How do you challenge social injustice? Like I explained earlier, these are ethical principles that we note while professing our profession. Then there are this principle of dignity and worth of the person. I think I explained that. The importance of human relationship, I have explained that. Integrity. Social workers are continually aware of the profession's mission, values, ethical principles, and ethical standards. So we need to know then the competence. One of the ethical principles that you should know is that competence is part of that ethical principle. Social workers practice within their area of competence and develop and enhance their professional expertise. So it is important that social workers continually strive to increase their professional knowledge and skills and to apply them in practice. social workers who aspire to contribute to the knowledge base of the profession. So it's one of the ethical principles that competency, or you have the right competencies. So that is why it is important for us to possess this competency. I want to believe you understand what I'm trying to say. That having competence in your area is part of the ethical principles of social work. So what we are saying is that in your own area, you should be master of your own area. You should know something about everything, and you should know everything about something. That your something is your own area of expertise. So that is very, very important. That is why we are taking this. That is why social competencies are important. Then this also helps promote excellent practice. When you possess right competence, what you're going to dish out is going to be excellent practice. You know, we have doctors all around, just like we have bad teachers. I think you know that we have bad teachers, we have good teachers. Not all the teachers are good. Not all the doctors are actually practicing their profession in the best way. Not all of them. Not all of them. Leave the quack aside. Even among the so-called medical doctors, we have those that are good, we have those that are not good. Even in schools, in university, everywhere, even among our politicians, are they all good? No. Are all the local government chairmen, are they all good? No. Are all our presidents that we have been having, are they all good? So when you have the right competence, you try to promote, that one will give you to give an excellent service to your service users. So invariably, you are promoting excellent practice. So you are promoting the best practice that people can make reference to at any point in time. This also enables us to show professional commitment. When you have competence, you can show professional commitment. That is, I am a professional, and you want to dedicate everything you have to that profession to ensure that you are promoting it in the best interest of your service user. Then it also helps us take responsibility for our conduct and our practice. When you are competent, you take responsibility for your conduct, because you want to let people know that I'm the one that have done this, and this is my area of specialization, and this is that client you see that is successful today. I'm the one that puts him or her through up to the stage of his or her success. So you want to take responsibility for that. You want to be Suda high, and you let people know that you are a professional. You are a professional. But it also helps evidence our knowledge. When you are competent, people get to know that you possess the right knowledge. It also helps us to maintain a positive attitude. I discussed that earlier. It enables us to take charge of our professional development. You know, in social work, that's what we call continuous professional development. Even after your induction as members of the respected chartered institute, you are expected to engage or to participate in continuous professional development. That is why when after induction, you must participate in all programs that are put in place by the institute. This is to enhance your professional development, and that one will increase your professional knowledge and skill, and will enable you to apply them in practice. So we have conferences, we have workshops, we have mandatory professional training that comes up every year, which you just have to participate in. So it also supports the competence also supports with learning new skills. Any new thing that's around, when you attend workshops, you attend professional training within the year, that one will expose you to learning new skills. It helps us understand our role as social workers. We get to know more of our role as social worker, what we can do and what we can't do. It also enables us to establish and maintain the trust and confidence of our clients or service users. What you have is you try to build the trust and confidence of your service user. When they know that you are competent, they will actually run to you to seek for assistance, to seek for help. Of course, in your area, you can identify good hospitals. You can identify the hospital that you cannot even patronize. Even if they're going to offer you free treatment, you will not even go there because you know that one hospital has competent personnel, while some they don't even have competent personnel. You want to go to the one with a competent personnel. Even government hospital, you still try to select and choose the one that will serve you better. So that's the essence of having social work competency. These are some of the importance of social work competencies. These are the opportunity social work competency will offer you as a professional social worker. So I want to pause here. If you have comments for today, I want to end the class here. If you have comments, you have observation, you have contribution, let us do that in 5 minutes, so that until we meet the other time next week, perhaps. Thank you for your time. So you are welcome with questions, comments, contributions.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Yes, Mr. Keredolu.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. While teaching us about the duties of social workers, you made mention that it's part of our duties to challenge bad policies around us. But
Yes.
here in Nigeria, where we have politicians that are selfish, and in an attempt to challenge their policies, looking at our own safety, because many times when you challenge them, even the masses will see you as an enemy of the government. So how do we go about this?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Like you remember, I mentioned that there are channels that will be open for us to challenge such policies. We need to walk through the right channels. So when you walk through the right channels, I'm very sure no one will antagonize you or no one will attack you. For instance, at the state level, when there are policies that are made by the governor or the state government, you can challenge those policies by going through the House of Assembly legitimately. Going through the House of Assembly by submitting your petition. Petition in the sense that to correct the wrongs in the policy or in the laws that are made. If such is not treated immediately, I'm very sure they will put it in a place that it will be useful for them in future. That is a way of it. Again, while they are doing, in the process of formulating, there is a process for formulating a policy. There is a process before a policy can be taken to be a right policy in the society. I mean, in any place. So that process, there is a gradual process of formulating a policy. You ensure that while that policy is being formulated, is going through that process, you ensure that you avail yourself of the opportunity of attending the process, of attending all the stages of that policy formulation. For instance, even if it is a law, there are times there is what we call the public hearing. At those hearings, you can actually find out your own aspect or the aspect that you feel is oppressive in that law or in that policy, you can let the government know. You can write to the government agency, you can write to the government organs without actually attacking the politician that is at the helm of the affair. But you are presenting your own position to the government, to an institution, not to an individual this time around. Whatever governor does, you know, the governor will do it on behalf of the state. They will say the state government has approved that, not the name of the Mr. Governor. The Mr. Governor can approve, but henceforth, the state government will now be using this policy as this, as that, as that. Like we have this policy we call the social protection policy, so to say, the national social protection policy that is being used by the federal government to address all the social ills that we have in our society, the conditional cash transfer, the public works, and so on and so forth, the presidential grant, and all these grants are given to people, the old people, the young ones, the less privileged, and so on and so forth, and the disabled. You see, when they formulate this policy, they engage people, they engage stakeholders. It is at this process, this is what you look at for. When you get them, you can use that channel to challenge that policy. Thank you. Yes, Kosoko.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've not been able to access most of the lectures, but because I'm still a professional in this field, I work with Women Affairs Department in the local
Great.
government, and we treat a
Great.
lot of issues concerning domestic violence.
All
Our
right.
clients will come to us that, okay, their husband is not supportive in taking care of the financial bills of their ward. Sometimes the clients will come with cases of the man bullying, battery, and things like that. So in some cases, we will invite the defender, that's the husband
Office
of our
of Public
client,
Defender,
or the wife.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
To come for mediation at the office. They will not come. Some will even say that you cannot do me anything. Are you the one that marry her for me? Come and arrest me now. This, that. So what is the body doing to empower the social workers in the field? These are issues we face at the office. If we invite them and they don't come, I cannot go to the house. You understand? Yes. And our clients will not be happy if they come, give us complaints, and we invite Yes. These are the issues I'm facing in my own desk right now.
That is great.
I don't have the power to carry police officer and say, go and pick the man up. So please, what is the body, the social work body, doing to help us in this kind of scenario, please, sir?
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm happy that you say you are a government worker. And you know that when you work at the local government, you have a state organ which supervises the local government. As such, when you have such cases, what you do is you just get your reports on all those ones and bundle the report to your state organ, especially the State Ministry of Women Affairs. And I'm also aware that I want to believe you are from Lagos.
Yes, sir.
I'm aware that there's this Office of Public Defender where
they
have lawyers, where they have lawyers that can handle them. Yes, where they have lawyers that can handle them properly, because because they know that you do not have that power to arrest them. Get your report, send your report to the State Ministry of Social Welfare or whatever agency that is supervising that. Let it be well documented and get it ready and send it to them. Let them work and copy the relevant organs. You can copy the Office of Public Defender, and you can even copy if there is an office in the Ministry of Justice that actually sees to this. You can also copy such of it. I know such a person will sit right. Let me give you an instance. There was a case of a professor maltreating his wife. Maltreating his wife, who is a PhD holder, and they are working in the same university. And that professor is a professor of medicine. You can imagine that. So when at Obafemi Awolowo University, when such case was reported, the man was doing that, was threatening all those that are inviting him, that were inviting him to come for mediation, to come for this. The man was saying, no one on this earth can actually drag him to that place. They invited him, he didn't come. So the office, I think it was the one agency under Ministry of Justice in Osun State. I can't actually remember. Maybe Office of the Public Defender, or I know it's one agency of government in Osun State. They now filed the matter properly. The Ministry of Justice just took the matter up and they took it to the courts. And it was invited by the courts. So in the court hall, the professor was weeping. He was jailed. He was not given an option of fine. He was taken to Ilesa prison right there. And that battering, that maltreatment stopped immediately. You can see if the person had kept quiet and there wasn't any report to the appropriate quarters, that's the humanization will just continue like that. That maltreatment will continue, maybe, who knows. So that is what you can do, ma. That is just my advice. So get your report ready, send it to the appropriate place, and the person will have even seen that you have taken a step. But if you allow the case to rest on your table, it will just be like that. Your client will have taken a step. So you will have because you can't do it alone. You will have taken it to another person. Those at the state, those at the state, they have more power than those of you at the local government. So when you do that, you will know the implication. So I think you can do that, ma. Then again, the institute is also
because of the soft copy of this your lecture, sir.
Don't worry, you will get it. You will get it, ma. You will get it. You will get it. So, and the institute is also collaborating with some of these agencies that I've talked about, the various ministries. That they are aware. The problem we have is the fact that no one is ready to take the bull by the horn for challenging all these wrong things people are doing in the society. So, but we.
Okay, I beg.
Thank you, sir.
And with the act that we have. Okay. Ekpejo, I can see your hand up. So if you are not ready, Mr. Tere, I can see your hand up as well.
Okay, I just want to say a little thing about what is on ground.
All right, sir.
Because I have also worked with the Office of the if we start amend back to some of this we discussed, we say social workers have powers. And just that many of us don't know the kind of powers that we have to ensure that things work well for those who are service users and also for us. I've handled so many cases like that. They were even published in Punch and other newspaper when I was working with somebody even there in America. We had a case. You had to write to the embassy. The embassy had to write him, and he came down from US to Nigeria to face the issue of domestic violence and child abuse. So there are ways we go about our procedures. Even as local government staff, you are a government official, the government law backs you. And that's why we talked yesterday as well about synergy. A social worker don't start a work and end it on his table. You must know the next person to tap. You must know the next official to contact. You must know the next agency to plug to. Somebody in the local government, there are vigilantes. Somebody bragging, nobody can come and take it. They have chiefs, they have KBC, they have Opas, they have Igwes in every community. And they have youth associations. So these are areas that we need to collaborate with all those. If you are in local government and you don't have networking with all these people, you may not know what to do. You will not know where to address and who to address and who to to come and help you get this case sorted and done. So we must open our mind. We must know what we are doing. That's what we're talking about, competency. A competent officer in that regard will not just say this person is bragging. And you brag with who? With a social worker? No, it's not done. If only a social worker is not competent and doesn't know his onion, that a person like that will brag towards. I'm happy social worker mentioned about that professor. When you have written a letter to him, he doesn't come, he's bragging. You instigate the case with the with the police, or if there's a local vigilante, you instigate the case to them, and especially civil defense. Civil defense are very, very proactive in matters like that. Before you know it, all Jakub civil defense will be and the doctor. So you need to collaborate with civil defense as a local official in the social work desk. So they will go and carry him, will write letters to his office. His office will stop his salary if he brags too much. They will tell him, stop this work, go and face what you have been called upon. He will go. If he doesn't want to lose his job, he will go. There are so many ways like that. That's how we talk about collaboration, synergy. You must know who next to tap concerning the matter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Very much, Mr.
Yeah, thank you. I also want to call your attention. I wouldn't know whether the VAB law has been domesticated in Lagos. I know in some states like Osun, Ekiti, and some other states, they have domesticated this VAB law. If you have heard about that law, whoever does anything contrary to this law is liable to be prosecuted. So everybody, even it's an act of the National Assembly that has been domesticated in some states, is violation against Person Prohibition Act at the national, and there is law at the state level. So you can also go through this law. With this law, that can empower you to also take that person to any level of prosecution. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir, it has been domesticated, sir.
Yes,
please just go through that law to make it's a weapon. It's a weapon that you can make use of greatly. So Bolanle, please.
I was here first.
All right, I called you. You didn't respond, please.
Okay, sir.
Please,
good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Please, sir.
It's morning here. You're welcome.
Okay. I'm trying to apply for a job, and I was asked for my social work license. I have just BSc in social work. So I had to ask and ask and ask, how do I get social work license? That is what actually brought me.
All right, okay. It is after induction. You become a member first. You become a member, you become inducted first before you can be issued license. So it has a process. So you can ask for further details from Mr. Tere.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you. So, but ensure that you pass this exam. So, no problem. Bolali, over to you, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You are well done, sir. Yes,
thank
sir.
You.
I also want to tell you that I am working as Minister of Women Affairs at Oyo State here. We face some issues like that, like battering, all these
violence, domestic
child abuse. Yes, but something like that, we also file it to the court. When we call the husband, they will not answer us. Like what one of my colleagues was said now. If they are not answer us, we will now file it properly to the court. So they will now face the court. That is what we are doing at Oyo State. As a probation officer, we file it to the court. After we call them to settle it amicably, if they are refused to come, we file it to the court, sir.
Exactly. That's the right procedure.
That's the right procedure.
Yeah, thank you. Instead of giving yourself stress.
Yes. Yes. So thank you, sir.
You are welcome. Yes. Thank you. Well, as there is no other comments, I want to appreciate everyone. And I want to thank you for your time this morning. So next week, by the grace, special grace of God, we're going to continue the class. So until that time, so just remain blessed. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. Mr. Lee and Mr.
Bless you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.